Hello, Chair Browns and Commissioners. Mitch Silverstein on behalf of Surfrider San Diego chapter. The San Diego chapter and our thousands of members and supporters stand with the Santa Cruz Surfrider chapter in opposition to the county's LCP amendment. The policies in the county's proposed amendment protect private property, but fail to preserve the beach, waves, and coastal habitats. In particular, this shoreline protection exception area will ultimately sacrifice some of California's best surf spots used by millions of people per year, including myself, in order to protect private property, much of it built post-Coastal Act. The shoreline protection exception area is about as anti-coastal act as anything I've ever seen in the short time I've been following the Coastal Commission. We do not want these policies replicated anywhere in San Diego County. Many local governments across the state are waiting to see what happens here today, so it is crucial that the Commission be strong and defend the decades of work towards proactive sea level rise planning and policy guidance that the state has completed and that the Santa Cruz County's policies would undermine. The San Diego chapter has spent several decades defending the Coastal Act from harmful policies and seawall loopholes such as that which are before you today. The coast is never saved, but today your vote for denial is a step closer protecting our beaches and waves from rising seas and climate change hazards. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have in-person speaker Ray Heemstra, who is available for questions. Moving on to Zoom speaker, or do you want to speak?
I do.
Okay.
Proceed.
Sure. Thank you. Good morning, commissioners. My name is Ray Heimstra. I'm the Associate Director at Orange County Coastkeeper. We oppose the Santa Cruz LCP amendment because it is not consistent with the Coastal Act, would increase destructive coastal armoring along our coast. Cities all along the coast are seeing impacts from sea level rise. Now is the time for the Coastal Commission to stand firm and require them to follow established policies to protect public trust, coastal access, and ecosystems. Denying this LCP as written will send a message to coastal cities statewide. You can be sure that cities in Orange County and others are closely watching this. Please deny this LCP amendment and require them to revise it to deal with the reality that coastal armoring is not the appropriate way to deal with coastal erosion. Thank you.
Thank you. And moving on to Zoom speakers. First will be Drew Lanz.
I have a PowerPoint. Okay, hello, Chair Brownsy and Commissioners, Mandy Sackett on behalf of Surfrider Foundation and our thousands of members and supporters. Next slide, please. Our mission is to protect California's ocean waves and beaches for all people, and the Santa Cruz County amendment is a threat to that mission. The county's plan jeopardizes the Coastal Act, would undermine the state's sea level rise planning guidance, and if approved, the amendment could open a Pandora's box of terrible policies across the state and doom our beaches, waves, and vital remaining coastal habitats to drown as seas rise. Next slide, please. On behalf of the 19 organizations listed here, those committed to coastal access, habitat preservation, and environmental justice, please deny the LCP amendment before you. These organizations jointly submitted a comment letter, which you can find under correspondence 2, asking you to support the staff recommendation for denial due to the clear Coastal Act inconsistencies. Next slide, please. Our action alert reached over 1,000 signatures of members and supporters who are opposed to the county's plan and over-reliance on seawalls. That form letter is also in your correspondence. Next slide, please. People on social media are also outraged. Skeleton365 says, "We want to stay a beach town, not a walled city. The ocean is why people come here." Rach Sparks gets it. She said, "Exactly. Nature and waves for generations to come and are much more important than empty vacation homes and asphalt." And my personal favorite, Mundo Court, "Real estate kooks, go home." Next slide, please. This post is from Save the Waves. Tiny Shock says, "History and science are unequivocal regarding armoring. It's a stopgap which propagates future cascading failures." Next slide, please. The people have spoken loud and clear in opposition to the county's plan today, and we urge you to deny the amendment. We look forward to working with the county to come up with a plan that protects public resources. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Allie Webster, followed by Laura Walsh, followed by Kristen Northrop. Allie Webster, I seem to be having trouble promoting you as a panelist, so I'm allowing you to speak as an attendee. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, Chair Bronzy and Commissioners. I'm Allie Webster, Chair of Surfrider Santa Cruz. First, want to start with my favorite fun fact in this regard. David Carlson says that 90% of coastal properties in the county of Santa Cruz are part-time residences or vacation rentals. I've been following around the county LCP for about 3 years now, and the pattern's been the same. At meetings, we're surrounded by coastal property owners and their legal representation. It is rare to have even one other entity speaking on behalf of the 273,000 residents of Santa Cruz County who do not own coastal property. The idea of destroying some of our most iconic beaches and breaks for the protection of a few private homes, many of which are part-time residences, and for a few years with a shiny new East Cliff Promenade is absolutely heartbreaking. Please help us push the county to extend outreach so that we may pull together the tens of thousands of Santa Cruz residents who want to explore other options for the future of East Cliff.
Thank you. Next, Laura Walsh.
Hi, Laura Walsh, Surfrider. Surfrider's legal director, Angela Howe, also submitted a detailed letter enumerating the many legal issues with the county's proposed policies. The plan in front of us today proposes, quite remarkably, to violate the Coastal Act by describing locations where new shoreline structures are allowed to protect existing structures. The plan's approach to redevelopment is also disconcerting, as it essentially locks in at least another generation of redevelopment on the bluffs that will require armoring. We know we are preaching to the choir when we say that this undermines state law and the work done by this commission, and when we ask, how many one-time exceptions must we allow before we recall that we had beaches in Santa Cruz at one time? If the county were proposing to violate the Clean Water Act by planning to allow for a zone of untreated sewage to collect at the coast, maybe there'd be even more of an uproar here. But the proposal is similar in brazenness. The shoreline protection area exception area is expressly forbidden by a bedrock coastal protection law that has been defended by coastal advocates for decades, and it should be deleted as an invalid concept. This proposal is unique in that it does not bother to take advantage of a loophole in the Coastal Act. It considers the law that protects our coast and coastal access as a starting point for debate, and the danger and precedent alone should concern this commission. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, Kristen Northrop, followed by Brian Peoples, followed by Charles Edie. Kristen Northrop.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Kristen Northrop, and I am Policy Advocate for Coastal Environmental Rights Foundation. SURF was founded by a group of surfers for the protection of California's coastal resources. I urge the California Coastal Commission to deny the Santa Cruz County proposed local coastal program amendment. Allowing for such would set a dangerous precedent in the California Coastal Act for our coast facing rising sea levels. It'd be detrimental to coastal resources and public beach access. Seawalls and hardened armoring harm our coasts by destroying the coast's beautiful characteristics, devastating ecosystems, and limiting it or destroying beach access. The County of Santa Cruz should not be allowed an exception to this clear and statutory prohibition on coastal armoring. The Coastal Commission staff report states the proposed amendment does not adequately protect coastal resources and cannot be found consistent with the Coastal Act for several key reasons. And with that, I urge the Commission to deny the LCP amendment. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.